Hello everybody, it's Jay Breeson here again with another episode of Dominions. Should be probably one of the last three, I would assume. Research and alterations completed. So that means we have access to Battle Fortune, which is a very powerful troop buff. It's a wide area luck buff. We also have access to stuff like Darkness. We won't be using Skeletal Legion, which we may, and Army of Giants, which we certainly will in the throne attack that we'll be doing against the throne with the large amount of boars. If the game is going on longer, we may well find some use in things like Ironbane and so on as well. But just for now, I don't think this is that game. I've also changed the research priorities for the next turn, so I'm moving up Evocation to level 3, and then going into Conjuration. I mean, it's up to 5 in theory, but we probably won't get there. The reason for that is that at Evocation level 3, we have access to Mist. Mist grants our Aircasters another thing to use, which will give the enemy a precision debuff unless they are also using Wing Guide as we are, which may potentially be quite useful for us because the guys from Crimson Chichimeca are using a fair amount of ranged troops. It'll also mean that our F2 and even F1 mages, who are currently casting things like Sulphur Haze, which is a little bit dangerous to us, or potentially Flare, which is a little bit fatigue intense, can be repurposed onto casting Fireball instead, which is going to be much more convenient for everyone, and also will change the nature of the fight after we first actually make contact with Crimson Chichimeca's throne. So even if there are subsequent battles, I suspect there'll be probably one, possibly two, unless we win the second battle, which would be inside their fort, and then claim the throne. But yeah, I would assume 3 battles at most. It's possible he could use a some kind of event phase attack or other similar kind of phase attack using something like Imprint Souls or the one involving Skeletal Riders that I forget the name of, that I believe is in Ench. Should remind me somewhere. You know what? It's probably a really, really unlikely shot that he's actually going to do that. I think it might even be Alteration. But yes, anyway, the remote attack by a horde of special independent tagged long-dead horsemen. Anyway, that's probably overthinking things. But what I have done is given these guys multiple turns worth of gems. I've liquidated most of the entire gem treasury and a lot of the next gems. In fact, I may do some more just to really try and get things fully in hand. Because if this attack succeeds, we win. If it fails, we more or less lose. So, or at the very least, it would cause the game to drag on to an extent where I would just be really bored playing it. Which is, you know, to some extent a little bit of a, well, I don't know what to say about it, but anyway, it's the truth, is what it is. Have that on conservative, have a second guy arrow fending, as I said I would. That's just prudent, I think, given the situation. We're going to leave this fort here, but we are going to move the outer battle up from Wicker Woods. Wicker Woods also has basically the entire complement of guys coming. The buffs we're going to have up are going to be Wing Guide, they're going to be Arrow Fend, there's going to be Flaming Arrows, there's going to be some Battle Fortune on the front row. I've also used the double line formation very specifically. So the double line formation basically tends to put everything behind it, kind of dragging it to a halt. So in fact, I may move some of these guys. That should do well enough. Basically, there are these Karen crawlers at the back, or whatever they're called, cave corrupts rather, that I really do not want going forwards because that's just going to put them in danger. And these guys, as we discussed previously, are about 13 sea strength each. Even if only those guys lived, it would take at most 2 turns to crack the fort, right? So that's the thinking behind that one. And hopefully, hopefully more guys than that will live, but you know, just on the off chance. So the reason that I've built this double line is basically to drag the entire army to moving forward a bit slower. It's going to cause his guys to come forward instead, which opens them up much more for evocation, for sulfur haze, for just all of that stuff, and makes things a lot more manageable. All of the long dead archers with Banefire bows are set to fire large monsters. This is assuming he brings his pretender along. He may well not, but I'm not entirely sure where he is at the moment. Now they may have gone into 40 or 51 to then go into 20, or they may have spotted the troop build up and have suspected that I'm going to Brightwoods, which point they'd be in Crimson Chichimeca itself, which I didn't have a scout in. So given the situation as it is, I've decided to just go into 55 and just basically see what happens. The script with Pretender is more or less as it was before, and he's going to be moving back to 44. Given that this is a forest province, I can ferry trod into it. I think given that Chichimeca 3 has been staling quite a bit, but has left his forts on, it would appear at least, on repeat recruitment, I really do not want to be teleporting into the green wall and trying to deal with, you know, just a massive force that's built up over the last few turns. So hopefully when we ferry trod over here, A, we'll have taken the province in advance, and B, we won't have a ferry trod that misses the province, which is something that can happen, but fingers crossed we won't have to show that off in this Let's Play. So we've done most of the gem assignment and so on, which is the boring stuff. Yeah, pressed Y, shown what the general plan is. Most of the mages are just going to be casting Horde of Skeletons and so on. I'm going to leave Tonatui maybe in this province just blood hunting as before. This guy should be blood sacrificing. The basic aim here is to try and keep Dominion push up. So this guy over here is sacrificing still, for example. If we have our Dominion in this province, which we should, given we're blood sacrificing, there are multiple adjacent temples. Profit's going to be there, and if we have our PG teleport over there, we'll have that as well. It's going to be advantageous to us and disadvantageous to the enemy, so that's the theory with that one. They do have multiple Cloud Priests, so I would assume that we'll be facing blessed enemy troops, but whether they bring their Pretender God along is going to influence basically how that goes in the long run, because if we can kill him, we can potentially take out his bless, which would be fan-dabby-dozy. We also have a couple of mages casting Thunder Ward. That won't by any means completely negate Thunder Weapons, which are very powerful bless, but it will help to potentially reduce the amount of stuns and so on that we take. So that's the thinking with that one. All things going well, we should have these guys move out to here. These guys are just continuing to amass over here. Gonna then move into Wick Forest. We have multiple guys potentially in range. This guy, for example, I did pre-check, because it's an important one to do, that Cloud Trap's in range. You certainly don't want to be in a position where you hinge your plan upon a teleport that's actually a little bit too far away. So yeah, so I had a look at that one. We'll have him teleport over once it's taken and claim it, and we have Anton Rayado going over to Desert Visions to claim that the next turn. Currently we're only sitting at 1. After we take the thrones here and here, we're going to be encroaching on the 5 very, very quickly. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. There's not too much else to say, so I'll leave it there. Been to everyone, and goodbye.